Everyone thinks that AI is killing online jobs, but for virtual assistants, this might be the biggest opportunity spike we've ever seen. And here's why. Competition is fierce, yes, but the VAs who know how to pair their human skills with AI are the ones who are going to win big this year. This video is the full step-by-step roadmap to become a virtual assistant in 2026, even if you're starting from zero. By the way, my name is Abby Ashley, and I've grown a community of over 150,000 that I help launch and scale their VA businesses from scratch. And today I'm going to show you exactly how to start, how to stand out, and how to get hired as a virtual assistant in 2026. Let's dive in. Now, in this video, I'm sharing the complete roadmap, not holding anything back. But if you want a very special gift from me, I want you to stay until the end of this video because I'm going to share with you a training that I made just for you that shares the secrets on how I sold out my services in just 30 days of launching. So make sure you stay to the end for that. All right, let's talk about the 9 steps that you will take in order to launch a profitable virtual assistant business in 2026. Step 1, understand what a virtual assistant really is. Now, I've been training virtual assistants since 2016, and the basic premise of what a virtual assistant is the same. A virtual assistant is anyone who provides remote assistance to small business owners. These could be technical tasks, these could be administrative tasks or creative tasks, things like answering customer service emails or posting social media. Creating a blog or a website for an individual could even fall under those VA tasks if those are skills that you have. That's one of the things I love about virtual assistants is that you can use the skills you already have in order to start getting paying clients and helping them with their businesses. Now, even though the basic premise of what a VA is has stayed the same, how VAs work has become very, very different in the past year. And that is because of AI. AI has completely changed the game, not just for small business owners as a whole, but specifically for virtual assistants. It gets asked a lot inside of our communities, is AI taking over virtual assistants? Are we going to, be obsolete? And the answer is no, but a VA who doesn't know how to use AI is going to be obsolete. There's still a need for that human interaction. There's still a need for somebody to actually feed and train AI, right? And a VA is the perfect type of person to do that, to help these small business owners with getting them set up in their systems. And then this way, you are not just doing admin tasks, you start to become a higher level partner in the business as well, because while AI is doing the busy work, you can look at things like project management, operations, helping out the team, learning more technical tasks. There's a lot that you can do and possibly even charge higher rates because AI is taking some of just the really lower level items. AI has also changed the speed at which we can get work done. A spreadsheet that maybe would have taken me 2 hours to organize can literally be done in seconds now. And this is the power that we can harness as assistants to these small business owners. So one of my top recommendations for anybody starting a virtual assistant business in 2026 is to get comfortable with AI. It's okay if you're not yet, right? We all start at step 1, but it is one of the skills you're going to have on your list. So let's go ahead and jump into step number 2 of launching your own virtual assistant business, which is to discover your skills. And you can actually use AI to make yourself better and faster at those skills. One of the things we help our students with is identifying their unique skills. And this can really be broken down on what type of VA personality you have. If you're more creative, more of a techie expert, the assistant, somebody who likes to be really organized, or you're the big visionary, go ahead and look at these list of skills. Maybe you see that you could do calendar management or research and booking for travel for a small business owner. Or maybe you're drawn to those creative tasks like Pinterest management, social media management. You want to dive into the back end tech of a business, maybe learning ads, Facebook ads, Meta ads could be something profitable for you. Or as the helper, you can come in and do inbox management, calendar management. There are so many types of tasks that you can offer. The great thing is you don't have to know all of these tasks. In fact, I would recommend just choosing 3, 4, maybe 5 at most and saying, these are my top skills And this is what I'm going to offer in my virtual assistant packages. Now, I really want to challenge you to jump into AI. Specifically, I use ChatGPT, maybe use Gemini or another platform, that's fine. But I want you to really see how could AI help me to make these skills faster. You can literally ask ChatGPT, help make me an expert YouTube editor, help make me an expert Pinterest manager, and it will give you advice on how to do that. It's really incredible. But even in the day-to-day task, you can be using AI. Take a look at this example. Here I am inside of ChatGPT. I just go to chatgpt.com once I have a free account. And let's say I am a customer service agent and I just got this email. I could say, I am answering emails for my business or my client's business, and I got this question. Help me answer it in a way that is thorough and helps direct this student to our courses. Okay, here is the email that I got. Now, if you have not seen ChatGPT at work, especially now that I've been able to train it, I've told it over time, hey, remember these specific things about my business, it's going to come in and it is going to give me a really incredible response. It's crafting an email with my voice right now. This is such a smart question to be asking before you dive in. And then it goes in and it completely answers my question in such a thorough way. I would probably go in and tell it to make it shorter because this is a very, very long email, but it's so incredibly thorough. And so you can see how just with a little bit of training, you can literally use AI to be doing the work for you, which is incredible. Now that you know that you are absolutely qualified, you've chosen a few of those services that you would want to offer, one of the biggest questions we get is, how do I actually price and package these? So let's make it simple. I tell most virtual assistants to start with simple hourly packages. In order to do that, you're going to choose an hourly rate. Most of our VAs choosing those general admin services are going to be charging between $30 and $40 an hour. Now, if you go on to learn more high-level technical skills like the Facebook ads or Pinterest management, obviously you're going to charge more for that, and we can talk about that in a different video. But for most beginning VAs, I say just start with these simple hourly packages. Let's take a look at what those packages could end up looking like for you. So here's an example of what your packages may look like as a new virtual assistant. You can see that my rate is $30 an hour, so a package of 10 hours would be $300. Now, this is only 2.5 hours per week per client. So you may even want your base package, your package number 1, to look a little bit more like the $600 a month. That would be 5 hours of virtual assistants per week or 20 for the month. And then you can see how the packages can go up from there. Sales psychology say that people will gravitate towards your center package. So definitely make sure that you have 3 packages, even your big package that you think, wow, this would be insane. This would sell out my services. This is all the hours I have to work. Go ahead and make that your biggest package. So just a quick example of what these packages will end up looking like once you create them. Now, pricing and packaging your services only works well if you can actually take on the workload when you get a paying client. And this is the difference between the VAs who get completely overwhelmed and the ones who are able to take on clients confidently. That is with step number 4, set up your systems. The biggest piece of advice I can tell you when it comes to developing your systems is to think through, when a client says, yes, I want to hire you, then what? What will you do? So there's a couple of things that will look like. Obviously, you're going to want to have a contract for them to sign. You're going to want to have a way for them to pay you. Those would be the first 2 pillars that you'll definitely want to know. There are great tools that we recommend for our VAs, some like Dubsado or Honeybook. These are both really amazing tools that you can use in order to send contracts and invoices. I also know many VAs just starting out will do something as simple as sending a PayPal invoice. Make sure not to do friends and family. It needs to be an actual business invoice, and have a document signed with Google Drive's new document signing feature. which is really helpful as well. You're also going to want to decide what your onboarding process will look like for the new client. I recommend a onboarding kickoff meeting where you go over, yes, the contract and the invoicing system, but you'll also talk a little bit about here's how I work. Here's the project management tool that I use. There are so many out there. There's Dubsado, there's Honeybook, there's Trello, there's Monday.com, there's ClickUp, there's Asana, so many project management tools. You'll have to just kind of take a look at each one and see which one fits you and your personality the best, but you'll want a way to keep track of the tasks that they're giving you and a way for them to see that those tasks have been completed. So choose your project management tool, and in that onboarding kickoff meeting, introduce them to all of these systems. Speaking of systems, that leads us to step number 5, which is to set up your money system. So we already mentioned invoicing, but you're going to want a way for those invoices to actually get into your bank account. I recommend having a separate bank account, totally separate from your personal account, so you can know what all money is coming in to your business, and then you can pay yourself out of that account by transferring money back into your personal account. But this is where you're going to pay all of your business expenses from. Remember, when it comes tax time, you do not pay taxes off of the total amount of money you make. You pay taxes off of the total amount of profit that you make, which means that you're going to want to keep really detailed notes of how much you spend so that can be taken off of your profit and you can pay less taxes. Now, step number 6 is to protect your business legally. We mentioned a contract, but I want to stress it again here. Please, please, please do not work without a contract. It is vitally important. Even if you're working for a friend, even if your first client is your dad, I want you to have a contract, okay? Promise me, promise me. Now, you also want to make sure that you are able to run an at-home service-based business where you live, which means that you'll need to check the local county and state requirements to operate a business where you live. You can go to score.org and you can actually look for a business mentor, and this person can really help you to understand what the local legal requirements are for having a business where you live, including any special licenses or permits that you would need. Now that you've got that foundation secure, you are ready for step number 7, which is to officially launch and market your new business. Now I want you to take a deep breath. Marketing is one of the scariest parts. It is so much easier just to be behind the screen, tinkering and deciding on our packages and our services and getting everything set up in the background. And then when it comes to marketing, some of us just stop in our tracks and we get so nervous. But here's the thing. People cannot hire you if they don't know about you. And the very best place to begin is with your friends and family. Now, you might be thinking, Abby, my friends and family aren't business owners, and that's okay. I want you to do a quick activity for me. I want you to close your eyes and I want you to think, do I know one small business owner? Just one. Maybe it's a real estate agent. Maybe it's somebody who owns a food truck or a bakery where you live. Maybe it's a health coach or a personal trainer. Do you know one person who owns a small business? Well, just like you know one person who owns a small business, everyone you know knows one person who owns a small business. And so literally just by telling your friends and family what you're doing, what you're up to, it immediately expands your network. So how do you actually reach out to your friends and family? Well, I have this personal outreach template that is the exact same template that I used when I was first getting started. This is the template. You're going to send this out to small business owners. It's asking them, hey, do you know of anybody who may be interested, right? If they're a small business owner, obviously ask them if there's anything that they would want to learn more about, for their business as far as virtual assistance goes. But if not, just say, does anyone come to mind? Here are my services. Here's what I'm doing. Guys, this system works. I love this testimonial. I just started the Abbey system on Friday. I went through the Get Clients Now lesson, which is what we are talking about here, this personal outreach template. I sent one personal outreach to a business owner I know of, had a phone conversation with him about his needs, and boom, first client booked. The system works when you work the system, and this is the step. If you want access to this template, I'm going to give it to you entirely for free. Just comment template below this video, and my team and I will send you a link to it. Now, obviously, this template is only one of the 3 secret ways that I tell VAs to get new clients. And as I promised, at the end of this video, which we're almost there, I'm going to share with you a special 60-minute training that shares with you my other 2 secrets, so stay tuned. All right, step number 8 is to build a VA website. Now, you might be thinking, Abby, this is really late in the game. And yes, it is. And I did that intentionally. Here's the thing, guys. I think that all virtual assistants should have a website, but I actually recommend that the VAs I train wait until they have their first paying client in order to start a website. Why is that? Well, again, sometimes we can get stuck in the details. We can really just hide behind our projects. And your number one goal is marketing. If you do not have a paying client yet, it is the one thing that you need to wake up thinking about. 90% of your time needs to be focused on marketing, right? So that means that I want you waking up and doing the actions to get the word out about your business. And that needs to take up the majority of the time. So a website, while it is a marketing tool, it doesn't directly help you get in touch with clients. I'm talking about relationships. I'm talking about getting the word out there, going to networking meetings, doing the things that it's going to take in order to get clients. And so, yes, build a website, but wait until you have your client first. The only exception to this rule would be is if you can crank one out in like less than an hour because you're just that skilled of a web designer, go ahead. But for the 99% of us who that is not the case, I would so much rather you wait until you have a paying client, until you launch your website. You can go ahead and set up your socials if you want. An Instagram, a Facebook page especially, I think is a great idea to set up, but that is not a website. I would wait to do your website until you have a first paying client. Now, once you have paying clients, you get to move into step number 9, which is my favorite step, and that is to scale your business. Scaling involves raising your rates. You might have started at those $30 to $40 an hour rates, but if you learn higher level skills, things like Facebook ads or Pinterest management, or maybe you niche down and you become a real estate VA, all of these higher level skills will allow you to actually increase your rates. Another way that you can scale is by hiring team members. In fact, the way I was able to replace not only my income, but my husband's income is because I actually built a team of people who were doing the work. So I kept marketing, getting more clients, and then my team would actually complete the tasks. And this is how I was able to make those $10,000, even $20,000 months coming into my VA business. These are the kind of results I love to get for my students. This is where it truly starts feeling like the freedom life. I love this story from Tamara. She says, I went from a team of 1 to a team of 6, went from consistent 5K months to consistent 15K months by increasing rates and revamping packages with current clients and onboarding 4 new clients to work with. I created a system to get things out of my head and allowed for more brain freedom. This year has been life-changing. This is why I do what I do, is because of stories like this. Now, I've given you the complete roadmap for how to start, but I did promise you a very special gift at the end of this training. So if you want access to my free hour-long Become a Book Out virtual assistant training, I'm going to give it to you here right now. You can scan this QR code right here or go to thevirtualsavvy.com/BBO in order to access it. It is my gift to you. And that's all I have for you today. I hope that you have enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I hope that I have inspired you. If you learned something, let me know in the comments below what your biggest aha, your biggest takeaway is. And hey, I have another fun thing for you. I have discovered this incredible digital business card tool that I'm using at every networking event that I go to. So if that's something you want to learn more about, check out this video right here.